Hi, I'm Gabrielle Thomas. I'm with the Hollywood Times, and I am here with Gatsby, creator of Gatsby, the recommendation streaming service, is what I'm thinking of it as. I'll let you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah, no problem. So my name is Gatsby Frimpong. I am the founder of the Gatsby TV app. It is a streaming video on demand recommendation app that allows you to also search and rate movies too.
That's awesome. I really love the concept. I think that you're doing such a great service for me and other individuals that struggle to find something when they're about to sit down and eat. You find that like so many people finish their meal before they like go through loads and loads of recommendations. And that's also because we don't know where things are streaming. So I think this is a super unique and like really necessary app. First off, I wanted to ask, where did this come from? Like, where was the idea birthed and how did it even come about?
Yeah, so essentially in the way that you just described it. So at the time, my partner and I, we would basically come home from work and there's sort of this like golden period, right? It's like the period between when you finish eating and before you're about to go to bed. We're like, okay, I want to kind of watch something to get me in the mood to, slowly doze off.
Yeah.
And generally, her and I would kind of go back and forth about what we'd be watching that evening. And I kind of thought to myself, wow, this is crazy. We're spending so much time trying to figure this out. And I
Yeah.
felt like it also started a little bit of contention and animosity between us because she'd want to watch something, I'd want to watch something else. And then I kind of end with like, you always fall asleep during the movie anyway, so I'm the one who gets stuck watching it. So I should decide, right? I'm the only one who ever sees the end of anything.
Oh
So
my gosh.
this got me sort of thinking about why it is that people have such a hard time finding things to watch on TV. And so I decided to come up with a solution.
That's so awesome. And the fact that it was like made out of like love and comedy is so funny too. I love that. And then further, what do you think gives Gatsby staying power in this climate of like on demand and streaming services and things like that?
Yeah, so the thing that I think gives it sort of its staying power is the fact that really we act as sort of the Switzerland of streaming video on demand services. So one of the things that people don't really realize about streaming and about search is that search is biased. When you search for something in Apple TV Plus or Netflix, whatever it may be, the algorithm is trying to push you towards certain things. And I personally believe that's why people have such a hard time finding things because of the profit motive, right? These companies are trying to push something on you that you generally don't want.
Yeah.
So what sort of differentiates Gatsby TV is we don't provide content like Netflix and Hulu and HBO Max. We provide a way for you to search through, filter, and recommend content. And what that allows for us is because we're not worried about pushing our latest blockbuster or this movie or TV show we spent $100 million on, we'll look at sort of your habits, what your friends have been doing, and what's been recommended to you, and find ultimately what's best for you doing it that way.
Wow, I love that. Something that's truly catered to me and not like some kind of agenda. I really love that. And speaking of the search engine, I was playing around with the search engine on the app, and it's really dynamic. I One of my favorite shows of all time is Supernatural. It has like a billion seasons, and it's a like a sci-fi show. And I typed in Supernatural, and it came up immediately, showed me exactly where it was streaming, exactly where I could rent or buy it. I love that a lot. I can't speak any more highly of your business than I already am. What can we see like, or what can we expect as far as like developmental from Gatsby as a website, as an app? Like, what can we see coming down the pipeline for y'all?
Yeah, so with Gatsby TV right now, we have an Android app, we have an iOS app. But what we plan on doing in the future is essentially meeting our customers where they're at and how they watch TV. And so people, the way they generally watch is actually via their laptop. So we're redoing our website and coming out with something more robust. And then
Mhm.
secondly, we're also coming out with an Apple TV and hopefully a Android TV app also, so that you can basically do everything on the TV that way. Because again, that's how we find most people tend to watch their stuff.
Yeah.
But to be quite honest, the reason why we started with the mobile experience is for me, again, kind of going back to this situation with my ex-partner, is I always felt like part of the reason why we had such a hard time finding something to watch is because you're literally sitting there with a remote and you're like, okay, B, A, and then you're like doing this thing with the remote. I'm like, the remote is not a good like tool to search for things, like because let's say you BAT and you're going Batman, and then you figure, okay, you don't want to watch that, and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna try Superman S. Click, 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 click. You know, and I'm like, okay, that's why people just give up and watch Friends or The Office for the And so that's why we started off with the mobile experience, because we said, no, if we can get people to sort of change their center of their entertainment universe from like starting with a TV and a remote to actually their mobile phone where they can use fingers, or at least generally two, that will help speed up the process.
No, seriously, I really love that. My comfort show is Frasier. I've watched that show so many times, and it's because I don't have anything to watch.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. The final question I have for you is, could you speak a little bit toward the science behind how you base your recommendations and cater it to the specific user?
Yeah, no problem at all. So essentially, and in my past, I talk about search a lot because I used to work at Google. I've also worked at Apple, Microsoft, basically all of big tech. And one of the things that I've sort of come to realize, and there's been a lot of talk about AI and all the things that come with it today, is that what Gatsby TV is supposed to do is we're not trying to replace human beings, we're trying to augment human beings. Yeah. And what I mean by that is generally how people find things to watch on TV, and this is sort of our secret sauce, is you're sitting at brunch with someone, or you're at the water cooler with a friend, or you're texting your cousin, you know, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm watching this show X, Y, or Z. And what generally happens is that offline conversation, they tell you something, and you're like, okay, yeah, I'll check it out. And then you get to your TV hours or days later, and you're finally ready to sit and watch something, and you forget the recommendation. And so what this does is the next time you're at the water cooler, you're at brunch, or you're texting your cousin, your friend, your mother, whoever it may be, they'll tell you about a show and they'll say, you know what, I'm just going to recommend it to you in an app. And then the next time you go into the app and you can search for anything across any platform, you'll see in your recommendations pane, oh, okay, my best friend sent me that show. I'll go ahead and check it out. And how this augments human behavior is because once you do that and you actually watch the show, it'll send a message to your friend saying, okay, your friend is actually watching this show. And yeah, and what we've come to find out is as soon as someone gets that notification, they text you and they're like, tell me what you think about it, right? So it's, again, not replacing human beings. We're trying to augment that offline conversation and keep it going. And again, like just make it more fun. So it's like, okay, I watched this, she or he watched that. Oh, what did you think about this? So next time you see that person at brunch, the water cooler, you're texting, you can go ahead and riff and talk about what you'd liked or disliked about that show.
Wow, that's amazing. You're also bridging a lot of like sociability into this as well. So we can not just be in front of the TV, but also like be a part of community while we're doing that.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that.
Yeah, because the last thing I'll sort of say is that there are a lot of apps out there that have tried to be social media for the sake of being social media. And in my opinion, the thing is that not all social media is bad because we are very social in person. That's why social media blew up, because it allowed us to sort of replicate that, but in the digital context with more people. And what I'm saying is missing with social media is, one thing is, I don't know, let's say you're at a family barbecue, everyone busts out the photo album and they're making fun of people for the way they looked when they were young, etc. And again, in a lot of ways, that's what Facebook and Instagram and these platforms are. And just like I said before, with, okay, a lot of times when you're with people and they say, hey, I'm watching this show or watch this movie, it's that same thing. It's like, oh no, there's this very social thing we do in person. There's just no digital equivalent to it. And so that's why I have a lot of confidence that this is going to be the biggest entertainment company in the US within the next 5 to 10 years, because we're taking this social construct and just digitizing it.
That's amazing. Well, we at the Hollywood Times wish you nothing but the best. This is really, really going to take off. I see that it has already. And yeah, I just wish you nothing but the best, and I wish nothing but success for your future endeavors. Thank you so much for sitting and talking with us.
All right. Thanks a lot, Gabrielle. I appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you. Talk soon. Bye.